sometimes there's a bug in OBS and the audio doesn't work, so I gotta test it. And it still didn't save my layout. Son of a bitch. So there, okay, fine. The chat will be on the left side of the screen this week. Who cares? Alright. We have sound on Twitch, so now broadcasting on Dementia Radio now. And recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
We have Rand Bellavia in the house.
Hello, Rand.
Oh, no.
And lurking in the shadows, we have Carla Ulbrich.
Hello.
Carla
I'm under a lamppost right now.
Oh, so we can see you. So we can see her when she walks under a lamppost. Carla was driving home moments ago. She is now arriving home. We'll be walking up. We're just going to narrate you coming home, Carla. That's going to be the podcast this week. So
the play-by-play.
Right.
Little did she realize this would become the beginning of a true crime podcast.
Oh my God. Well, we'll have video.
As out from a bush jumps Adam English. No.
All right, welcome to episode 581 of the Funny Music Podcast for August 5th, 2021. Elfin Goodness is the name of this week's episode, and your job is to work that into our conversation somehow. Elfin Goodness. So, apologies for the late start this week. We had another one of those swim things, although this wasn't a practice. It was an end-of-the-year party where they went over the championships, and Darren actually won, I think, the 50-meter butterfly at the championships, so that's neat. I think he came in second in his other event. And they handed out prizes and had like a ice cream truck with free ice cream for the kids, and it was fun. But it means we were late, so. But now we can do this.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Oh, trying to, fight against my ADHD to get me to, actually do things for FuMPFest. But also, I had my brother Michael and his wife I knew were in town, so we got to hang out with them with Con and Lindsay, so that was pretty cool. Went to see Jungle Cruise, and it's fun. Do you like fun? Go see Jungle Cruise.
Is it an entertainment?
Yeah, it is an entertainment. And it was very entertaining, and it made me smile and laugh out loud. There's no post-credit scene, but yeah, everything is great.
Hey, spoiler warning! Come on.
So yeah, and then Saturday night I watched a live stream from the Aquabats doing their top 12 most requested songs from the fans. So that was cool. And then Sunday night I went to see the improv show Puppet Up at Henson Studios, and that was really cool. Brian Henson was there, and he introduced the show, and then came back later on in the show to perform in it. And a couple of the puppeteers from the show Earth to Ned were in the cast, so it was just a lot of fun. And then on Monday morning, I got a final crown put in, so now I got all of these teeth are crowns, so my smile is ee! And that afternoon, I recorded a episode of a podcast called Podcast Without Cool Acronym, which is basically dedicated to mostly, I guess, Disney television animation or Disney Channel type shows with a special interest towards Phineas and Ferb, judging by its name. And they were doing an episode on the topic of the 10th anniversary of the Phineas and Ferb Into the Second Dimension movie. And they asked me to be on that episode, and one of the other guests on it was Dan Swampy Marsh, who is one of the co-creators of the show and the voice of Major Monogram.
Oh, cool.
So, So it was really cool to be on that show and talk about all that stuff. And I'm not sure when that episode is dropping, but it'll be, in the not too distant future. So I also got to share with him my the fan art I did back in 2013, based on a comment on one of Blasted Bill's podcasts, or a segment they did, where they were trying to assign the Phineas and Ferb cast as to which parts they would play in a shadow cast of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So I did my own version of that idea, the Perry Horror Picture Show, and I screen shared it with him, and he thought it was awesome and asked me to email him the original art file. So hopefully he'll be sharing that on his social media sometime soon. So yeah, and I'm also gonna go see Suicide Squad tonight. Woot woot! So yeah.
Nice.
Look, I have to ask you, that podcast that you were on, does anyone refer to it as Puaka?
I don't think so.
Because, I mean, how could you not? I mean,
it's based on Phineas and Ferb. They have organization without cool acronyms, which is called AUKA. So Puaka, I guess, would be the natural progression. So
it works.
Possible. So what have you been up to, Devo Spice?
Oh, FuMPFest. Mostly. The big thing is I was working on the app because I have to get the apps done and submitted in order to have it approved in time for FuMPFest, and that timeline is rapidly running out. So last Sunday, I decided, all right, today's the day. I'm just going to dedicate as much time as necessary today on Sunday to finish the app. And the app was done with the programming. I just needed a couple little cleanup things to do. But then I needed to build it and compile it and submit it to the app stores. 10 hours later, I rage quit the app building process and posted a very long diatribe to Facebook about what was going on and the problems I was having, and and offered to pay someone to help me. And our mutual friend Matt Doohan tagged someone in the post, a guy named Brett, who offered his services to help me out. He has a bunch of experience with PhoneGap apps, and this is a native script app, so it's not quite the same thing, but it's roughly the same idea. And he was like, "Yeah, I can. I think if we get on a call, I can talk you through this." So he did a little research into native script and how it works, and then was it Tuesday night, I got on a call with him, and 5 hours later, we almost have it done. We were able to build an Android app. I haven't tried submitting it to the Android store yet. We were able to build the iPhone app, but I was not able to submit that to the store because I'm getting an app ID error that I don't know how to fix. So my next step is we did a fresh install with a fresh copy of the app, and I'm getting that working, and then I'm going to build from there. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to get on a phone call with Apple and ask them what the hell's going on, because I don't know how to fix that. And if that doesn't work, then I'm just going to take the app and put it on the website and point people to that, because that's basically all it is a website that runs on your phone. But that has taken up the majority of my life and my brain power for the last week. And I got a lot of other stuff, other FuMPFest related stuff done this week, which is good. The app is driving me nuts. It should not be this hard. It's harder to publish the app than it is to code it, and that's just wrong. So, all right. So who are we talking to first? We are talking to Carla first. So we'll review Rand first. Rand, what have you been up to?
I got this album coming out. I guess I didn't prepare anything. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just, as some of you may know, in my non-musician life, I'm the director of a library at an academic institution, and so, getting ready to open up for the fall, see how that's going to look. That's been taking up, certainly a lot of my time. But then in my free time, I'm dealing with the album. I finally did set up a Bandcamp page for both Uklo the Mock and for myself, so that
nice, excellent.
So you can now purchase all of our CDs and our MP3s and whatnot through Bandcamp. And tomorrow, of course, is Bandcamp Friday, so go.
Oh, it is. I forgot. Yes, thank you for reminding me.
Tomorrow's Bandcamp Friday. So please buy all of your nerdy music, at Bandcamp tomorrow.
If you don't own a copy of Versus Evil, tomorrow is a good day to buy it. You will not regret it.
If you don't own a copy of all of the Ookla albums ever, tomorrow is a good time to.
And you can order the complete set for like 35% off. So there's that.
I'm glad you have that up. So if any young upstarts try to put out a song about Kang the Conqueror, you can be there to be like
Well, yeah, no, actually, that was really fun. The day that I don't know if you guys, the day that episode dropped, like within 24 hours, the YouTube page for the lyric video for Kang the Conqueror went up by like 10,000 hits. So
nice.
It was like, people were just like organically, they were just going to YouTube and typing in Kang the Conqueror and finding it. So that was pretty awesome.
Nice. That's fantastic.
You have to understand, 10,000 is what passes for viral in Ookla Town.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We'll take it.
So, Carla, what have you been up to? You're finally home. You're inside now.
Yes. Well, I just put out my excuse me, the song that I put up Sunday on FuMPFest. Just put it out on Bandcamp, and it's out on iTunes now. And the Where Have All the Waiters Gone? And been prepping for FuMPFest. I've been practicing. I've been going to some open mics outside, trying to be safe. So going to some open mics so I can get my sea legs again, and remember how to talk to people and look at them in the eye and hear actual responses instead of squinting and looking at a chat window. And then I'm on a green smoothie diet. Don't be jealous.
I'm not.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to.
All right.
Yeah.
So give us a quick intro to this song and we'll give it a listen.
Well, I think everybody's aware of the worker shortage. A lot of the people where they can't find enough people to fill positions is because they won't pay them enough for it to be worth their time to go there. So this is a parody of a fine, fine folk tune that almost everybody knows.
All right, so here is Where Have All the Waiters Gone by Carla Ulbrich.
Where have all the waiters gone? Long time passing. Where have all the waiters gone? I ordered long ago. Where have all the waiters gone? Wandered off looking for a better job. When will they ever return? When will they ever return? Where have all the cashiers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the cashiers gone? Self-checkout blows. Where have all the cashiers gone? Sick of Karens getting in their face. Why would they ever return? Why would they ever return? Where have all the Uber drivers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the Uber drivers gone? I called long ago. Where have all the Uber drivers gone? Tired of angry drunks throwing up in their back seat. When will they ever return? Probably never, because Uber keeps ripping them off. Where have all the workers gone? Greener pastures. Where have all the workers gone? Wages are too low. Where have all the workers gone? The free market cuts both ways. Oh, how the tables have turned. Oh, how the tables have turned.
Very nice. That free market cuts both ways line is genius.
Oh, thank you. It's just a thought that I gleaned from one of the couple of articles that I read about this problem. You know, they're real happy when the free market works for the corporations.
Yeah.
But you know, when they when suddenly it starts working for the workers, they want the government to intervene, or you know, yeah, yeah. It's been way too low of a minimum wage for way too long.
It has.
So.
I heard there was one of these politicians who was, you know, fighting against raising the minimum wage, said that when he graduated from, I think it was high school, he made $6.25 an hour, and he did fine. And somebody did the math, and with inflation, that comes to $22.50 an hour. So if you want to raise the minimum wage to $22.50 an hour, I don't think anyone would complain.
Yeah, really. Well, you know, I don't know about the federal minimum wage. It's like it kind of depends on where you live. You know, like $15 an hour is a lot of money in the middle of I almost said a bad word, but in the middle of nowhere, Alabama. But it's, you know, it's nothing in New York City or New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey has notoriously high cost of living, which sucks.
Yeah.
I'm here too.
I got a song about that too, but that's another story. I'll do it at FuMPFest.
Okay. So what inspired this song?
The worker shortage. Probably kind of obvious there, but that's it really, just the worker shortage and finding out that people were like, you know what, screw this, because they're getting offers for jobs, or they're finding ways to get jobs in different in a completely different market, it's different sector of the market, and just reading about that and seeing where some of these employers, you know, there was a Hardee's that shut down, and it put a sign on there that says closed due to the lack of staff. Meanwhile, across town, there's this ice cream parlor who decides to raise their wages to $15 an hour. They had 1,000 applicants for like 5 jobs. So there's not a worker shortage. There's a wage shortage.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was asking, but I was wondering about the song you decided to parody. Like, how did you put the two of those things together?
You know, I tried. I think this was one of those subconscious things, because I tried to write something about the worker shortage when it first happened, because there was a Washington Post parody contest. Mm-hmm. And I tried to come up with something, and I gave up, and then a month later, this just came to me. So it was my failed efforts of.
So what you're saying is you didn't win the contest.
I didn't enter it. Must enter to win.
Aww.
Yeah, you know, you only have like a week or a few days or something like that to get something into them, and I'm usually not that fast on writing on demand. I'm not Lauren Mayer. I can't just like, oh, here's a topic, I'll have something by Friday. You know, she's an Instapot. I'm a crock pot. I'm the world's slowest filker. I'm the anti-Tom Smith.
That's a T-shirt.
Craft. The word you're looking for is craft.
Okay. I'm not used to saying nice things about myself. That goes against my nature. Yes. But then that implies that the other people aren't crafting. So, you know, there's that too. I'm just saying it's a slow burn.
Everyone works at their own pace.
Yes. Oh, now I feel like special needs. Okay.
I work at whatever pace my cat allows me to work at.
Yes.
So.
Oh, well, you must get nothing done then. If the cat has the say.
Cat walks on the keyboard. Luke needs to stop working.
Or figure out how to integrate into whatever he's doing.
I literally laid out the the two sheets that have the original lyrics with the spaced out so I can write my parodies, and then on above those were the two sheets that had all of my notes that I had typed up and printed up, and they were ready to go. And I went back to my computer for a second. I walked back to the table, and Hubert had literally sprawled out, covering all of the notes. No,
Luke
that's
is
fine.
paying
I guess
attention to these things. I'm going to get in his way now.
Yes, cats have servants.
Yep.
Not owners.
So are you almost ready for FuMPFest?
Almost, yeah. I keep thinking I have my songs memorized, and then I go do them at the open mic, and I'm like, not quite. That was Joe background sneezing.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
But it says, hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
At you. At you. He says hello back. I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, FuMPFest, yes.
FuMPFest.
Almost ready. I'm challenging myself. I'm doing a lot of new material, and that's why it's taking me so long to get ready, because I'm not just relearning old stuff. I'm trying to actually master some stuff that I've written in the last year.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I am intermittently looking forward to it and dreading it.
So am I. I'm terrified because the thing is, I'm in pretty good shape as far as planning goes. I have a couple of big things left to do, but things are in pretty good shape, which means something catastrophic is going to happen within the next 72 hours. I know it. It just has to,
So what you're saying is you're a Mets fan.
I was a Yankees fan growing up, but I know what you mean.
Well, this year it's the same thing. Not
right.
that this is a sports audience, but
They can track the metaphor, I think.
I think the Mets are notorious enough for blowing it that almost everyone knows.
Yeah. So, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Just the new song, which is on the FuMP. It's also on Bandcamp. It's also on iTunes. Where have all the waiters gone? Almost said flowers. Where have all the waiters gone? And I'm doing a live stream on Friday the 13th. So what could possibly go wrong?
You gonna wear a hockey mask?
No, I got to do that for my MRI last week. They pin you in this Jason looking thing, so even if you wanted to, you couldn't run out screaming.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the newest, latest, hottest, greatest thing. Wow, I got to use that somewhere. The newest, latest, hottest, greatest thing. But live stream. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. It's next Friday, a week from tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern on YouTube and Facebook. And if you want the links, just go to carlau.com. CARLAU.com.
All right. We're going to do some news.
It's time for Chicago's annual funny music convention, FuMPFest. This year, we're celebrating Dr. Demento's 50th anniversary with special guest, radio legend Dr. Demento, appearing live and in person. Dr. Demento will be presenting his Festival of Dementia, signing autographs, and hosting the 11th annual Logan Whitehurst Memorial Awards for Excellence in Comedy Music. FuMPFest is taking place August 20th through 22nd at the Westin North Shore in Wheeling, Illinois, and will feature performances by Bill Larkin, Carla Ulbrich, Steve Goody, Bad Beth and Beyond, The Gothsicle, Ross Child, The Great Luke Ski, Worm Quartet, Insane Ian, Nuclear Bubble Wrap, Carrie Dalby, Ian Lockwood, and a special appearance by Sulu from The Dr. Demento Show. Plus Demented Karaoke, dumb parody ideas, the FuMP Showcase, and more. Visit FuMPFest.com to register and book your hotel room. That's FuMPFest.com.
Time for funny music news. Something, something, something.
I muted everybody. Forgot to unmute. Sorry. Ran to get my water bottle. Didn't get back in time. All right. In the news, where is the news? The Knuckleheadz were interviewed for a segment on the Today Show.
Woo!
Yeah. Stevie D and Grandmaster Jax were interviewed by the Today Show about their father-son rap group. The segment is scheduled to run later this year, probably towards the end of the year. They don't have any dates yet, but as soon as we know, we will let you know. And it's also possible that Dr. Demento was interviewed for that segment, because I saw Stevie talking to Barry in the comments on Facebook. So, looking forward to seeing that. That's going to be fun. FuMPFest. All the deadlines have passed. The room block is closed, so whether or not you get in now is up to the hotel. Registration is technically closed, but I did keep it open a few more days just because we have ads running. I will be shutting those down this weekend, so if you haven't pre-registered yet, now is your absolute last chance. And I wanted to mention that with the Delta variant of the coronavirus kind of surging, we're going to be asking attendees to wear masks whenever possible, social distance wherever possible. Masks and hand sanitizer will be provided. My father will be going around sanitizing things wherever possible. I don't know what he has in mind, but I'm picturing him in kind of a Ghostbusters outfit, just kind of going around spraying everybody. So we'll see how that works out. We absolutely do not want anybody getting sick, so we're going to do everything we can possibly do to have a good time and stay safe. And the only other thing I want to mention is that all the YouTube video downloaders have apparently broke. So if you know of one, let me know, because I use it for this show for legitimate purposes. I download the videos of people's songs and then play them because I can. So if anyone knows of any way to download videos from YouTube, let me know. Otherwise, I may just have to, for artists who have videos, I may just have to contact them and have them send me the video. But that will be harder and take longer. So, all right, Luke, you got anything before tour dates?
Nope.
Oh, there is one more thing. The episode of Escape from Vault Disney featuring me and Insane Ian and TV's Kyle was released yesterday, I believe. So if you go to escapefromvaultdisney.libsyn.com, you can find that. We watched an episode of the 1990s animated Fantastic Four cartoon, which was something else, I tell you what. All right, tour dates. On the 7th in Michigan City, Indiana, Captain Ambivalent. On the 8th in Chesterton, Indiana, Captain Ambivalent. On the 8th in Norfolk, Virginia, Mikey Mason. On the 8th in Stockton, New Jersey, Larry Tritel. On the 9th in Glen Allen, Virginia, Mikey Mason. And on the 13th in San Francisco, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. Oh, and there's one more. On the 13th through the 15th in Appleton, Wisconsin, Mikey Mason. And birthdays, coming up tomorrow on the 6th, Jeff Smith from Raymond and Scum. And coming up Saturday the 7th, Brian Graupner, a.k.a. Dark NES of the Gothsicle. So happy birthday, folks. All right, Rand, give us I should say give us 4 quick introductions to this song, and we'll give it a listen.
Actually, there's 6 of them, but I won't do that.
6 quick introductions to this song.
Just to say, this is a kind of a mix of 6 tracks from my album, which is going to be coming out in just a couple of weeks. The album has 41 short songs. The 6 that you're going to hear are titled Crown, in honor of Luke, Real Boy, Gaze, Pine, Saw, and then the last one is the extended dance remix of Will Smith.
All right, here is Tip Sampler 2 by Rand Bellavia.
I'm gonna sue my dentist. I'm gonna sue my dentist. 'Cause it's hard to eat with a crown of thorns. Pinocchio defeated Dracula. Pinocchio defeated Dracula by burying his chest and insisting that he was a real boy. Pinocchio defeated Dracula. Pinocchio, I'm not your object. I'm not your object. I object. I object. I object. 1 and 2 long. 1, 2, 3 forever green. This thing's taking too long. This thing's taking forever green. Too long. Forever green. I cut the wood just by looking at it. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Will Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith Smith, Will Smith Smith. Will Smith Smith, Will Smith Smith, Will 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 Smith Smith, Will Smith Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith Smith, Will Smith Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith Smith, Will 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 Smith.
Very cool. And that Will Smith one messes with my brain, man. Just
Yeah, it answers the question: would Will Smith forge a statue of himself?
yes.
Yeah. Oh, funny thing about that song, CD Baby won't let me distribute a song with that title.
What's the title? Just Will Smith or
Will Smith.
Huh.
Like they're worried that people are gonna search for Will Smith and stumble across that song and be fooled into thinking that this is a Will Smith track, apparently. And
that's dumb.
So, what was that?
That's dumb.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, they won't. And then, so what I did was I just replaced the I's with asterisks, and they're like, no, you can't, block out. If it's a curse word, you can't block it out. So I changed the I's to ones, and we'll see if that will work.
Okay.
But otherwise,
Yeah, why can't you block out profanity? Because we ran into that when I submitted the FuMP Volume 87. Mikey Mason's song "One Fuck Left" is the title is one F dash dash dash.
right?
And that's how I submitted it. And they said, please, you can't censor these songs. And I'm like, I didn't censor it. That's the title. That's.
But the only reason, I just did it because that's what But I just think it's funny. It's not like, if I named my band Billy Joel, I would see how that might piss people off. You know what I mean? But that's not, it's like, and again, it's very.
I just thought it was something, they would refuse to distribute Buddy Holly.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Aaron just said, would they refuse to distribute Weezer's Buddy Holly for the same reason? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they
Probably.
yeah, no,
Well,
that
sure
song
here's
is
the
up there. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, well, the bottom line is that if I made a phone call to a lawyer, I'm sure, I'm totally within my legal rights to do this, but it would cost money to make that argument. That obviously we're just not operating at that level, and so it's just not worth it. So yeah, I'm sure Weezer would just pay someone to point out how stupid this is.
Or use a different distributor.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then but again, it's on Bandcamp, so you could pre-order it from Bandcamp right today, and even so. Yeah. But the sad part is, I timed it all so that on the 17th of August, it was going to be available at Bandcamp and iTunes and Spotify and YouTube and everywhere. And that might not happen because CD Baby's been jerking me around over the Will Smith song for over a week now. So I'm hoping it'll go through, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good luck.
Have you considered just calling it WSWS?
Well, I mean, I guess I haven't because I'm still. The problem is like every time they're like, you have to fix this. It's like that Price is Right game where there's 4 prizes and you have to put the prices in front of the prizes and pull the lever. It tells you which ones you get right, but it doesn't tell you which ones are right. And so it's like they're saying Will Smith. They just say track 11, isn't good. And so, but they don't tell you what to do to change it. So I keep making changes, and like 4 days later, they're like track 11's still no good for a different reason, And so, yeah, I guess I could. I mean, it's kind of disappointing to like part of the joke is naming the song,
Yeah.
Will Smith, I suppose, but that's but yeah, I had no idea that would be. It's funny because I've been commiserating with Ian because I know he was having problems a couple weeks ago, with similar things, trying to release something.
And I know
Shoebox had the problem with the Pac-Man cover. And so
not just the cover, but the title of the album and some of the tracks on the album. Like one of the there was an intro track, and then there was like the last track on side 1, something like that. And they wouldn't let him use that title because there's no sides on the internet. And like, so stupid.
Yeah.
There's nothing but sides on the internet. Pick a side.
Right. That's more
we're
closer to the
side.
truth.
Come on. Yeah. But at any rate, I'm excited to get this thing, out into the world. That's how you spell my name. Yeah. By the way, this is kind of a piece of the cover of the album.
Yeah, I showed the full cover while I was playing the song.
Cool.
So yeah, tell us about the cover because it's really interesting what you did there.
Yeah, it's actually a painting by one of my very best friends. Is a guy named Dave Huth, and he's a painter and a graphic artist. And he's done some graphic design for older Ookla albums, and he did this series of paintings about 20 years ago. And actually, I own 2 of them.
Oh, cool.
Because I love them so much. And then I asked him if I could use this. This painting is called Brad Has Faith. It's a painting of a friend of ours named Brad Wilbur, and I just thought it was interesting, and I thought I would, I'm a big fan of King Crimson, and this struck me as like a weird kind of King Crimson-y cover, and so I kind of was leaning into that. And then actually just last week, Dave Huth gave me, I now own this painting, which I did not own before last week,
cool.
So it's now hanging in my living room as well. So that's the story of that, but I can't pretend to tell you what the painting means.
But you actually have a library index on it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that I did. The whole here I can hold this up. Oh, actually I can't. Can I? Look at that. I can.
There you go.
Like that. Like I did. This is the actual Library of Congress call number. I'm a librarian and a cataloger, and so I figured out what the Library of Congress call number would be. And if you open it up, the CD itself is like the due date card because that's the thing that goes away. And on the back, this is one of the problems. Obviously, I flipped the thing. This is, of course, the SoundScan label. But if you ever looked at a library book, they always put the barcode label, like they just slap it on the book on the back in the exact same place with no care for graphic design ideas.
Yeah.
And so I had it. It's like literally covering words. And the thing that's funny is these got printed up by the CD place and they moved the barcode.
Oh.
And so I showed up all these, and I told them about it, and they actually, God bless them, they replaced the packaging.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And I didn't have them. It's funny. In order to like save the environment, I decided not to shrink wrap them, and so they just sent me the packages, and so I could just move the CDs into the good packages. But now I've got like a million of these that I'm gonna have to find. I'm gonna like have to have a peeling party where I peel the plastic away so I can recycle the paper of the old ones. But that's, so you can't win is my point.
Yeah, that's the type of thing you contact the artist first before you make that change.
Well, and that's exactly why the company stood by it. Because when I played that out, they were like, they said that to me. They didn't make me say that to them.
Yeah.
They were like, they should have contacted you before they made any change. And I'm like, you're right, and they were like, well, God bless them. They said they'd stand by it. So.
That's good. Cool. So, do you have anything you'd like to plug? I know, new album, obviously, but
yeah, like I said, album is coming out on the 17th, but you can pre-order it from Bandcamp now, and supposedly from iTunes, but probably not yet because of the problems we discussed. I also do want to say that all of the Ookla albums and the Via Bella album, which is the album I did with my wife, Erin, are all available on Bandcamp as well. At randbellavia.bandcamp, ookla-the-mock.bandcamp, viabella.bandcamp. So they're all the Ookla stuff. It's basically our entire catalog is now available through Bandcamp. I'm working with Adam to kind of put together some B-sides collections and some kind of otherwise unavailable stuff.
Cool.
That'll be available. Hopefully in the coming months, so that we can start getting some stuff out there. Digital only through Bandcamp for people. So hopefully that will be happening soon.
All right. So we're gonna do some feedback, and then I have a pre-recorded interview with Phil Johnson. Huh? Oh. She's talking.
Sorry,
to
apparently
Rand.
it's viabellaband.bandcamp.com, not Viabella. I got the URL wrong.
Did I was pronouncing your name wrong until that album came out?
That was a little bit the point, honestly. Because we get a lot of Bellavia. Is that what
I was Bellavia for like 20 years, and then the Via Bella album came out, and I'm like, ooh, I wonder. Yes. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Well, that was like when Less Than Art came out. I was gonna separate my name, so it was like Rand Bella space capital V.
Yeah.
Via.
Yeah.
And Adam was like, well, people are gonna think your name is Rand Via, and I was like, yeah, like Eddie Halen. And Bon Jovi, you're right. You know what I mean? That'll, and yeah, but you won that argument because I didn't do it. So
Bon Jovi's name is Bon Jovi.
Right.
Yeah, he had to separate it to make it easy to spell.
Yeah. See, it's those crafty Italians. That's the.
Anyway, my point was, if you guys need to take off and do other things and don't want to sit through the interview, you're welcome to leave. But thank you for joining us either way. We're going to do some feedback.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. Feedback. You know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback.
Feedback.
Eclectic Lee wrote, "Hey, I know you guys are busy with all things FuMPFest, but has anyone considered coming up with some unique substitute for handshakes when greeting people at FuMPFest? Something we Dementites and Dementoids can say is all ours." I'm all for sticking my tongue in your ear if that's kidding, totally kidding. Don't do that. Carla's doing the Vulcan salute.
That's not all ours, though.
We can absolutely do that, but it's not all ours. Yeah.
Why don't we just do like library bards and do jazz hands?
Jazz hands. Yes, we'll do the jazz hands in memory of the library bards because they won't be there.
Have you officially heard from Bonnie yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I was going to follow up with her soon.
Yeah, because in theory, if she's coming, she's staying in my hotel room, so I'm kind of waiting to find out.
All right. So here is the third song of the week, posted by Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. This is Hallelujah, like with a question mark. So.
I heard there was a secret song that David played
for much too long. And the Lord said, you don't know another, do you? It goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, pretty basic chords if you catch my drift. It's another crappy version of Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Salagadoola. Magicaboola. Bibbidi bobbidi boola. Had a party up on the roof. All the liquor was 90 proof. You asked her bra size, she said, was it to you? She tied you to the kitchen chair. She broke your nose, she cut your hair, made you listen to hours of Hallelujah. Hallelujah. She broke your tooth, but hallelujah, 'cause then she blew ya. There was a time when we didn't know who Leonard was or Buckley, so we had to keep on listening to Imagine. Now every time it's on the tube or covered by another rube, Leonard's bank accounts are screaming Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Making moolah. Bebop-a-lula. Maybe there's a God or two. If there is, he's sick of it too. The same song every day for millennia. And it's not a cry you hear at night. It's not someone who's seen the light. It's a desperate plea for fame with Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I say screw ya. I'm gonna school ya on Hallelujah.
I'm here with Phil Johnson.
Hello.
Damn it, I always forget it does that. And it doesn't show up on the recording either. So for those of you listening at home, this meeting is being recorded, and it's the most lo-fi, crappy sounding soundbite they could have come up with. But anyway, hi Phil.
Hi Tom, it's good to see you.
You too. It's been a while.
It has, yeah.
So Hallelujah, Phil Johnson is back.
Yeah. Indeed, yeah.
See what I did there?
That's very, very clever.
Yeah. So tell us about Hallelujah.
Yeah. So there's a book that came out called The Holy and the Broken, and it came out in 2011 or 2012, something like that. And I think I read it a couple years after it came out, and it's all about the song Hallelujah, and it's the entire process of it going from this relatively unknown Leonard Cohen song through the cultural touchstone, modern classic that it is now that gets, used and reused and overused and all that kind of stuff. And it's a fascinating story about just this one song. So at the end of the book, the author, Alan Light, has said, but I've never heard a really good parody of it that actually is a parody of the song and not just changing heart to fart kind of, parody. And there's plenty of those out there, and there's funny ones. But he said, I've never heard anything that actually parodies the song itself and its place in the world now. And I was like, well, challenge accepted. I don't write parodies. I'm not a parody guy, but I thought, well, this seems like a fun project. And it was mostly a writing exercise for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrote it in 2015 or 2014, whenever I read the book. And then I performed it a couple of times. People kind of liked it. And I started doing it on some of my live stream shows. I do a live stream every Tuesday. And I started doing it on there just because I was looking for different stuff to play. And people were like, I really like that. And so I thought, okay, I'll record it and put it out. And you were very, very helpful in teaching me how to actually release a parody and not sweat the details too much. So I appreciate that very much. And then on the release day, Spotify didn't have it. And I thought, oh no, something went wrong. And it turns out they just lost it and had to have it reshipped to
Really?
them. But yeah, so weird.
Everybody
else had it
happening.
Yeah, everybody else had it on release day. Spotify didn't have it, and I had to go back and forth with Spotify and CD Baby, Spotify, CD Baby, and Spotify eventually went, yeah, we don't have it at all. And I said, okay, well, CD Baby said, you have it. And they were like, we don't have it. So I got in touch with CD Baby, and they were like, yeah, we'll just send it over to them again. And it was up in 3 days. So, yeah, it was very weird. They just lost it for some reason. But yeah, that was the story, so I'd written it years ago, never put it out, thought I'd do it. And so I did it based on mostly the Jeff Buckley version, because I went back, I would listen to the original Leonard Cohen version, the Jeff Buckley version, and then the Rufus Wainwright, the second version from Shrek. Those are kind of the three versions that people would know. And I ended up, I don't like the Rufus Wainwright version. It really sounds like he phoned it in. It's like just very basic piano, and he sings it, and it's kind of.
Oh no! Did we lose him? You froze for a second. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hopefully the internet is okay. So I went back and listened to the Jeff Buckley version again, and the guitar parts on there are so beautiful. They're absolutely mind-blowing. And so I found a transcription of his, and I played it through a couple of times just to get the flavor of what was going on with it, and then did my own take on it for my version. I didn't want to do it. He does like a big, long instrumental intro that I was, wasn't going to do anything like that for this.
You don't want to do that in a comedy song, yeah. Unless you're doing something funny with the instrumental, then fine. But generally, you want to avoid that.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough enough to get, a comedy club audience through the first verse, if there's not a joke in it right away.
Right.
So I sort of shrunk down the idea of it. I did, I think, 4 verses. I wrote a 5th or 6th verse that I didn't put in there. And it was just a fun project to, play some different style of guitar that I, it actually turned into my style of guitar, but based on somebody else's. So it was kind of fun to mimic that idea a little bit, and it was just fun to record. Now I'm getting it's kind of tired of playing it.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
it is funny because this is one of those songs that kind of, I don't want to say came out of nowhere, but it like all of a sudden took on a life of its own.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden I started hearing it everywhere. It's kind of like what happened with Africa by Toto. It's like all of a sudden. Right. Toto's Africa is everywhere again, and it's like, I know it was a hit song, but like, why am I hearing it now everywhere?
Right.
And like even with Hallelujah, I was hearing it at Christmas on our local station that goes to Christmas as soon as October hits, and I'm hearing that as a Christmas song now, and I'm like, not sure that you're pushing it there.
Well, really pushing it, because I mean, there's when we hear the song, there's one dirty joke in my version of the song, and man, Christians get pissed. They're like, you're defiling a sacred Christian song, and I'm like, hang on, Leonard Cohen, probably not a Gentile. Also, he wasn't super religious, and the song is about sexual obsession. So don't read too much Jesus into the song just because it's called Hallelujah, you know. And the song where I do the dirty joke, that verse is in the song. I didn't make up that verse about tying to a chair and, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's in there, and they just they leave that out when they're teaching a 3rd grade class how to sing it. You know,
Sure.
they don't give them that verse. But yeah, it's real weird how people misread that song a lot.
Yeah, I think it's because there is a Hallelujah hymn that people sing in church, and I think
Sure.
people think it's
Yeah.
just about that hymn or something like that. Without
Right.
nobody pays attention to the lyrics of pop songs. Nobody. You know.
Well, that's the thing. It's this new. We have such short attention spans that we only read the headline, we only hear the title, we only hear the setup of the joke, and then we get angry at all 3 of those things when they're not what we expect them to
Right.
be. You know?
So it's glorious. So yeah, I saw you and Luke Ski had a little chat in the FuMP comments about the
Yeah.
Beth Kinderman's version of the song.
Right, which
She
I
did
honestly I hadn't heard. Yeah.
Yeah, she did a fantastic parody of Hallelujah itself, which is about the original song. So it qualifies for what's his face's book.
Does. Yeah, and I think hers came out. I looked at the date. Hers came out like 2018,
Something like that.
And,
yeah.
yeah. And I think I had written mine, like I said, in like 2015. As you know, parallel thought, but her version was very funny too. But yeah, absolutely does qualify for what the author was looking for. So yeah, good for her.
You should write to the author because now you've got 2 you can send him.
I know. I actually did. I did send it to him. He completely ignored me.
Yeah, of
but,
course.
Of course, But his books are really, really good. As anything by Alan Light is great. He wrote a fantastic book about Prince and a couple others that I've read. So he's a really great music journalist.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds good. So, we're pre-recording this interview because you have a gig on Thursday night.
I do.
As you tend to have gigs on most nights, which is like the running gag on the FuMPcast is Phil Johnson coming up, another show by Phil Johnson coming up. So how was it for you, like during the pandemic when you couldn't go out and perform?
I honestly, I had a to-do list of so many different projects. I had a comedy special that I had to finish pre-production on. I had a bunch of songs to write. I had a lot of recording to do. I only got halfway through my to-do list. I need another year of quarantine.
You need another pandemic. Well, don't worry, another one's coming.
It's coming. Yeah. Well, be careful what you wish for. But I would like a quarantine, but without hundreds of thousands of people dying.
That'd be
I
nice.
think that would be the best way to do it. But I have a novel to finish and a podcast to get to and a video series I haven't gotten to and things like that. So I went in with this to-do list of things that I always have a running to-do list of projects. So I was okay with it. And honestly, my girlfriend said, "How are you doing not doing shows?" And I said, honestly, I'm kind of okay with it as long as nobody else gets to do shows either.
That's it. There's the professional jealousy. If other people start performing, you're going to get upset.
Absolutely. Yeah, the flyers start popping up on Instagram, and that's I start getting the itch. I'm like, oh yeah, now I want to go do it because everybody else is getting to do it too. But when nobody was doing it, I was pretty okay with it. And plus, I had done so many shows over the last few years that I was okay. At least taking a few months off. Who knew it was going to be a year and a half? But I was okay taking some time off. And
silly me thought this was going to be over by June of 2020.
Sure.
And FuMPFest was going to happen last year. And that didn't. Not even close. Yeah.
How many deposits did you lose out on for that?
Oh, none. We just rolled everything over to 21. It was fine.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. That's good to hear.
It was one of those force majeure things that is in all the contracts these days. So it was nobody's fault. It just happened, and we just kind of pushed the contract back a year. So it was fine.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. But yeah, I was okay taking some time off, and I didn't miss it really. I was doing lots of Zoom shows, lots of online shows, things like that. And so I didn't really miss it until everybody else started going back and doing shows again. And that was tough. So now I'm back doing some shows. I'm doing a mix of online shows, some live shows, not nearly as many as I was doing before. Mostly because I'm trying to get myself to start hustling for gigs again, which is my least favorite part of this business. And so that's been the tough part. But going back out to doing shows, I'm going out almost cold with a new show because I had finished the previous one. I wrote a whole new hour while we were all locked down. And so I've been going out with a whole brand new show and really having to remind myself that I'm just going to have to suck for a while because I'm out of practice. And it's a brand new show that I'm still tweaking, so that's the adventure.
I was wondering how you did that. Like you wrote a whole hour because usually comics will write, 5 minutes at a time and then try them out like at an open mic or something. And then, build the show from there. But you actually wrote a whole hour.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And because that's what I do. Once I finish a special, then I will look at retiring all that material, but I will start filling in new stuff while I'm doing the old stuff, so that I'm not, mostly because I haven't written it all yet and I still have to go do shows. And in this case, I got to last August and was like, oh, I've written a whole new hour, and it's a pretty cohesive hour, and it's actually sort of structured like a one-person show where there's a running theme all the way through and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, now what? Now I got to actually take this show out cold and, try and form it into something worthwhile. And I did a couple of Zoom shows where I did the full hour for my fans.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, it was a self-selecting audience. It went really well. They were into it. It went way better than it probably should have. I did a couple of those. And now I'm taking it out and doing it for people who are random strangers and don't already know my work. And
yeah, it's easy to perform for people who like you. It's much harder to perform for people who don't like you. So try that and see how it goes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And this show is it's got less controversial stuff in it than my previous special, Burning Sensation, had in it, but there's also a lot of Catholic jokes in it, because the centerpiece of the show is a trip to Italy that my girlfriend and I took just before the pandemic. And so that's sort of the running premise of the show. And so what are we doing in Italy? We're visiting cathedrals and, all this kind of stuff. And so there ends up being a lot of religion commentary on it. But to the point where the Catholics that I've done it for are like, all right, yeah, that's funny. You've obviously done the research to get these jokes right, but again, it's some people are just going to react and not be into it, and I've encountered some of that too. I'm coming out your way at the end of this month. I'm doing some shows in Troy, Illinois and Carterville, Illinois.
I'm in New Jersey.
You're in New York. You're in New Jersey, right? Yeah. That's right. I'm thinking Chicago.
Yeah,
FuMPFest. But anyway, so I'm doing like an American Legion post in Troy, Illinois, and I'm like,
nice.
Well, we will definitely find out how the show rolls.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, we'll definitely find out how the show goes. But yeah, it's interesting. It's just I've never done it all in one big chunk like this before, and it's scary. It's because I just go, oh, I'm just gonna have to go out and suck it up and not do well a little bit here and there as I try and piece it all together. But I've been rewriting like mad as I get feedback from audiences, and it's slowly starting to get better.
Okay, cool.
Or worse. Maybe it's getting it's getting more offensive for all I know.
Yeah, it depends on your point of view, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Oh, let's see. I'm putting out new music every 6 weeks. Some of it will be on the FuMP because it's funny, and some of them will not be on the FuMP because they're not funny. But every 6 weeks, new stuff is coming out. Next Friday, my next single comes out called A Puggle Named Fred. And that one will be on the FuMP in September. I think I set the date for that one. And that is a sweet little love song about the messiness of an intimate relationship. And I'll leave it at that. And there's a puggle in it named Fred. But it's a fun little song. And so I've got releases set going through the rest of the year. I was just listening to final mixes for the next 2 this morning, and they sound really, really good. Shows, stuff, mostly working in California right now, in the Bay Area, because the road work is still a mess. Everybody's still doing makeup dates, and all of my makeup dates are in states that I don't particularly want to go to right now. So I'm kind of waiting on those.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I had dates in Texas and Florida. Well, we're going to back burner those for a little while and see how things clear up. But so all that stuff is on my website, philjohnsоncomedy.com. And other than that, I'm just creating and releasing and promoting on that treadmill constantly.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you for joining us. And
Thank you.
Look forward to your next song.
Me too. Thanks.
All right. Later, dude.
All right. Have a good one. Thanks.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Teasing. Tomorrow's song is by Joe J. Thomas. Tuesday's song is by Art Paul Slosher. Woohoo! And next week's Spotify playlist topic is junk food. Because why
Excellent.
the hell not? All right, Rand, plug yourself one more time.
All right. Rand Bellavia, Ukla the Mock, Via Bella. All involve me, particularly that Rand Bellavia project. I should also say, plugging me, I was very excited to be in touch with Dr. Demento over the last week. He likes the album, and he played 3 of the tracks on his show last Saturday.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, he went for the funny peculiar rather than the funny haha. Like he went straight for the Captain Beefheart stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that made me happy too. So, yeah.
That works. All right, and Carla had to take off. Carla is at carlau.com and carlaulbrich.bandcamp.com. And FuMPFest is at FuMPFest.com. And FuMPFest is coming up in like 2.5 weeks. And I'm panicking. So let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski.
And now other people say things.
Rand.
I'm Rand.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Shout it to random people on the street. And be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
"We're gonna get the chump genie and the chump daughter and, oh, who gives a fuck? It was 20 years ago."